The pain just won't stop after the Mavericks fall to the Rockets on the road. We'll tell you how on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. Hey, what's up, DLLS Mavs Nation? It's your man, Kevin Gray, alongside Mavericks beat writer Tim Cato. We, of course, are DLLS Mavs. Appreciate you joining us here on our post-game show as the Mavericks get throttled on the road by the Houston Rockets, 133-96 in a 37-point beatdown in their Texas road trip finale as they finish their road trip 1-2. The Mavericks now fall to what is 33-35 on the season. And, of course, now 14-20 on the road. Dante Exum leaving this game in the second quarter with a reported broken left hand, according to Shams Charania of ESPN, meaning that Dante Exum is now out indefinitely. We will break down what happened over the course of the next hour. We'll be joined by our national NBA insider, Marc Stein, a little bit later on in the show, Tim, as the Mavericks now have lost 9 of their last 11 games. And unfortunately, the hits just continue to keep coming for this team. The latest now, Dante Exum suffering what appears to be a season-ending injury for him and his left hand, kind of bookending what was the beginning of the season where he had dealt with a severe wrist injury. Unfortunately, the hits just continue to come for this team.
It's not really fair for Bobby to skip the show, is it?
Well, you know, everybody needs a day off every now and then.
You know, well, he should have chosen a game that was easier to talk about. You know, I'm going to, from here on, I am going to blame every ill thing that happened to the Mavericks in this game upon Bobby Karalla, whose fault it is that Dante Exum is unfortunately, possibly, quite literally, maybe played his last game as a Dallas Maverick. Like that is the stakes. That's where we are in the season. We still believe that Dallas, in all likelihood, in a broken non-shooting hand means that it very well he may be back at some point this year, but we don't know. We do not know that, and we are coming to the very bitter end of what has been a very bitter season for fans, for the team itself. Like, there's no way that you can look at this and look at the calamity and the revolving door of players exiting over and over again. You know, and Dante Exum, to sum it all up, you know, with as you said, a bookend, you know, not only wasn't good enough to break one hand, he had to go break the other one. That sucks. It sucks. It sucks for the players. It sucks for the locker room. It sucks for the team. And no matter how much you want to go back to the Luka trade, this season was a hellish season from the start. There was something wrong with this year, and it's only continued.
Yeah, it's kind of, unfortunately, easy to sum up the way that the season has gone. It has been quite literally a season from hell for this team in any number of fronts. And unfortunately for Dante Exum, suffering this broken left hand, Brandon Williams led the team with 25 points tonight on 11 of 14 shooting. Tyree Eason had a career-high 30 points for the Houston Rockets in their win. So, it's just very difficult to continue to discuss how this season has gone when every single night something else happens to this team, and a team, Tim, that got literally dominated on the offensive glass by the Houston Rockets. They gave up 29 second chance points. In fact, the Mavericks scored their first second chance bucket with 40 seconds left in the third quarter. That is how destructive this game was. A team that was already lacking size coming into it. The Rockets decided to throw just shots at the rim, go get the rebound, and put it back. And that was, in essence, a lot of their offense tonight.
And I thought there was one moment in the game where I thought things maybe would go differently. Brandon Williams, one of the main bright spots of this game for Dallas, he had a three. He made a three, and it cut the lead to 37.
shot.
There was 19 seconds left. But I thought really like it felt like Dallas was starting to get back into that game. And they just ran out of time. Unfortunately, they only had 19 seconds left to get rid of that 37-point deficit.
That's right. That's right.
This was kind of the game that I predicted on the pregame show. How many times, and this is not rhetorical, I can think of 3 off the top of my head. There's probably more. Sure. How many times did Houston Rocket players do this? and then this involved a basketball in their hands, and then their hands never came back down.
That's right.
And then they put the ball in the basket. It was Şengün. It was Jabari Smith Jr. Jabari Smith Jr. did it maybe, I want to say 4 or 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Şengün had several moments where it's not over the back if you're just taller than the opponent.
Taller than Kessler Edwards.
There were so many moments of this. It was exactly what Dallas couldn't do. This is not effort. This is not skill. This is not ability. This is your height and weight measurements on the roster. Sort by height. Dallas had nobody. The Rockets had a bunch of them. They played big and they were better the entire way. Like, one of the most damning stats to me about this game, literally every reason this game was decided, and this is why games like this suck. Like, it's not even that the injuries are the injuries. It's that Dallas doesn't have a team. They lost because they don't have players they need to win a game like this. It's just straight up as simple as that. We're about to talk for, 53 more minutes. I don't know how. We're going to do it because we love y'all. You, right there that I'm pointing at. We love y'all. But that's why they lost the game.
Yeah.
The Rockets were taller and better. But really just taller. Get rid of the better stuff. But yeah, the thing that most stood out to me is that, in the end, Houston only scored about 101 points in the half-court offense, which it's about an average. They have a really bad half-court offense. Their half-court offense, as the game drug on, ended up being pretty good, better by their standards. But they scored at a 90th percentile rate on putbacks. They were 98th percentile. So for every miss, they were, every time they got an offensive rebound, they were scoring at a rate of 1.5 points. If they got an offensive rebound, it was worth 1.5 points to them.
That's right.
It's just that's
got a bucket every time.
Insanely high, enormous rate. Dallas did not have the ability to win this game.
No, not at all. In fact, another number, if we're just getting into numbers tonight, the Rockets had 7 guys in double figures. My favorite number, aside from the 29-2 outscoring that the Rockets did of the Mavericks in second chance points. How about this one? 67-34. The Rockets were a plus 33 on the glass tonight. In fact, they were a plus 11 on the offensive glass, out rebounding the Mavericks on the offensive glass 17-6. No matter how you slice it, the Mavericks simply got their ass kicked. In any way you want to describe it, shape, form, or fashion, that is exactly what happened. Shout out to Brandon Williams. I see y'all in the chat talking about Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams had 25 points on 11-14 shooting, and a lot of it came.
Shouted him out.
No, I'm just saying. A lot of it came when the game didn't matter.
He had the game swinging 3. I'm telling you, it just wasn't enough time for it to really matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But if they had played 10 more minutes after that, I am telling you, Dallas would have cut at least 5 points off that 37-point deficit. It would have been a 32-point game in the end.
Do we have an update, Tanner, on the number of games when it comes to Kessler Edwards
6-3
and Brandon Williams? Graphic-wise, there it is. No, I want to see the graphics. My favorite part of this. Yes.
Oh, that's a great graphic.
Yeah, that's right. Brandon Williams, after tonight, has 6 games remaining with the Dallas Mavericks on his 2-way contract. Kessler Edwards has a grand total of 3 games left on his 2-way contract, and the magic number for the Mavericks in terms of their regular season games left, that would now be 14. So we are getting down to the nitty-gritty when it comes to Brandon Williams and Kessler Edwards. The reason why I bring that up is with Dante Exum going out now with the broken left hand, again, out indefinitely, unsure of PJ Washington's return. Jason Kidd saying maybe that he will play on Sunday against the Philadelphia 76ers. If he does not go, you're looking at potentially 8 bodies once again to be available. And then once those games run out for both Brandon Williams and Kessler Edwards, now we're wondering who in the world is going to be available to play these games down the stretch, because it's looking rather grim, if you will, when it comes to their injury situation and how many guys can be available on a night-to-night basis.
I mean, at this point, it does seem... Honestly, the fact that P.J. Washington's been questionable for a couple games in a row, has not played, that's not how Dallas does injury designations. I do really wonder at this point if the team is tanking. I know the players, Anthony Davis and Derek Lively, they want to come back. They want to get back on the court. I don't believe their agency wants them back on the court. And at this point, I'm now wondering if the team wants them back on the court. I wonder if the team has kind of resigned its fate, because Dallas has followed a very steady pattern of injury designations. The game before you're supposed to come back, you are doubtful. The game you're supposed to come back, you're questionable. And then you play in that game. The fact that P.J. Washington has been questionable for a couple of these and not played is a departure from the trend. And so at this point, he's going to have to. You do not have the bodies for him to do anything but play. And what difference is that really going to make? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. But P.J. Washington, again, and also it was an ankle sprain. This isn't like some complicated injury. It was a knee sprain. It's any other type of sprain. I'd have a little bit more understanding of how it could be something that lingers. And obviously he came back early from it. Like, clearly it was a real injury. He looked, the worst. He looked like, PJ Rhode Island there for a second when he was playing against the Lakers. I was trying to think of the smallest state. I'm pretty sure that's the smallest
That's
one.
pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, it was looking like PJ Rhode Island there for a second. But I don't know. I mean, Kai Jones also seems on the verge of coming back.
Yes.
That's another body.
He was questionable coming into tonight's game with the left quad strain.
If PJ and Kai Jones come back in the following game, even though Dante's out, Kessler Edwards is probably going to be made inactive. Maybe. I guess we'll see. But it's getting very tight. It's getting very difficult. And I will remind you that the Caleb Martin trade did not have to happen. Dallas is missing a roster spot. The ability to sign anybody to that roster spot, because Caleb Martin pushed them right up against the first apron. Not the second apron, but the first apron. They're not a first apron team, but they're pushed up right against it. They can't surpass it. And so, yeah, they got 14 players.
Real quick before we go to break, what the hell happened to Max Christie? Like, what's going on there? Because, my gosh, the Monstars have zapped all of his talent, it feels like, over the last few weeks, because it has not been pretty. The lid was on the basket quite well tonight, unfortunately, for Max Christie, and he has not, unfortunately, been great in the last few weeks here. Got any ideas on what's going on with Mad Max?
I mean, no more than what I talked about last show.
Sure.
At this point, we're probably just going to have to start repeating conversations, but like, that's the thing. Like, we're out of things to talk about, like me and Bobby were kind of going through it. I think what Bobby said about, he was never there's first 9 games. Yeah. I think it was 7 games. He looked awesome.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Real confident player. All of a sudden, that confidence is...
It never felt like the true summation of who he was as a player. This doesn't feel like the true summation of who he was as an offensive player. It's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And
he's missing Kyrie. That's a great point about who cares. Like, Kyrie not being out there to create him, take some pressure off of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a guy who creates separation advantages for himself.
Yeah.
However, that also puts a ceiling on how good of a player he can be.
That's true.
And the fact that he's not doing it now in an expanded role on a roster against a bunch of bad teams, against a bunch of teams that aren't even taking the Mavs that seriously, this is at most a really good 7th, 8th man. Maybe a 5th starter. He's not more than that. He's not as much fun as it was to say, just out of sheer inability to say anything else, the Max Christie trade. It's not.
No, it's
he's a rotation player.
It's definitely not.
He's a nice rotation player. He might be a little bit better at some point in his career. It's possible he could be like, a fringe starter, but he's got limitations. He's got pretty clear limitations as a player.
By the way, shout out to Klay Thompson, who in 26 minutes tonight, 2 of 16, 5 points, a negative 33. The Rockets decided that they were going to take him out tonight, and that's exactly what they did. Let's take our first break here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. When we come back, yes, a little bit more on this game, but also our National NBA insider Marc Stein going to be joining us a little bit later on in the show as well, as the Mavericks' latest injury sets them back that much further. All that more coming up next year on the DLLS Mavs postgame show.
The cells in our body are the building blocks of life. We've got a new partner. It's Timeline. Timeline is a supplement that works with those cells to help give you more energy, to feel stronger during workouts, to preserve health and mobility as you start to age. They've got a patented ingredient, which I love to hear. It's called MitoPure. It's a postbiotic nutrient that clears out dysfunctional mitochondria, aka your cell's battery packs. And I think all of us know mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. This might sound like a lot of science. It's going way too far back to science class. I wasn't good at it in school, but the benefit is with regular use, you'll see and feel the difference in the form of improved energy levels, better workouts, faster recovery, more endurance, and more. Right now, Timeline is giving you 10% off your order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/DLLS today to get started. That's timeline.com/DLLS.
Let me talk to you about Sleeper. If you took Tari Easton to have more than 30 points tonight, or at least 30 points tonight, you were definitely a winner. If you took Brandon Williams to have at least 20 points, you were also a winner as well. With Sleeper, the best fantasy league platform out there, allows you to put your ball knowledge to the test by picking whether your favorite or least favorite players will have more or less in their projected stats each week. With Sleeper, it keeps you in the loops with instant alerts for breaking news and major injuries, so you can stay ahead of the game and you can keep track of league updates in real time, so you're ready to outsmart your friends. So if you think you have what it takes, like our guy Bobby Carrillo does most nights, new users can download the Sleeper app. Most nights, yeah, some nights. New users can download the Sleeper app and use code DLLS Mavs to get $55 off and free entries when you place a $5 contest. You can apply it to any contest as well. It doesn't have to be your first one. Make sure you know that terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states, so make sure you check out Sleeper today. Mavericks get throttled at Houston tonight, 133-96, as they fall 2 games below 500. As the Mavericks finish 1-2 on their Texas road trip, they will come home on Sunday to face the Philadelphia 76ers.
I've got good news.
Oh.
Ryan Brokoff was tweeting about Dante Exum.
Former Mavericks legend. Fellow Aussie.
I just don't think legend is a strong enough term.
For Ryan Brokoff, it definitely is.
No, it's not strong enough.
Oh, strong enough?
Yeah, likes Tashi to be icon of the franchise face. DNA.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, poor Exum, another injury to the depleted Mavs. And so we were tweeting back and forth a little bit. And he said, I said, how's your conditioning these days? They might need you. Ryan Brokoff, he replies, can still shoot. So if Dallas had a roster spot that they could sign a player to, I would suggest Ryan Brokoff.
He can shoot. I don't know if that will help them necessarily in this case. He might help them actually win a game.
He's a body.
Yeah, I guess true that at this point it's just about who's available to play. Jason Kidd confirming after tonight's game that Dante Exum is done for the season with the broken left hand that he suffered. That according to Brad Townsend of the Dallas Morning News, Jason Kidd confirming that after Dante Exum left the game in the second quarter with that broken left hand injury, is that means he is now done for the rest of the season.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. We are this much closer to me suiting up for the Dallas Mavericks. I don't love that. I don't think we want
you necessarily suiting up. Maybe Tanner over you, but you do.
I don't think they want that either.
Oh, okay.
Okay, who was working on their jumper at halftime?
You
on
were.
Marc Stein's Papa Shot?
Yeah, you were.
It wasn't you two bozos.
No, because
it was me.
No, you're right.
It's because I know that this is going to be my chance. I'm available to be signed. Also, have you seen how much two-way contracts pay out?
I've seen that.
I checked my contract.
Can your knees and your ankles hold up?
No. But,
but you can go sit on the bench. You're good to be able to sit and drink that water. Got it.
No, lemonade.
Oh, lemonade?
Yeah.
What a reference.
Yeah, liquid calories are, that's what kills you. But, for me, on the sideline, How do you know this isn't lemonade?
Because the way you've been acting tonight, I definitely know that's not lemonade for sure.
It's Polar Seltzer, orange vanilla.
No, it's an unbranded.
It's unbranded seltzer.
That's right, it's
Orange
unbranded
vanilla.
seltzer.
It's a very odd flavor. I don't know why it's up in our fridge. I kind of regret grabbing it. There was also lime. I would much prefer that.
Yeah, that's where we are on tonight's post game. That's in fact. I think Tanner threw it in the chat. What do y'all want us to talk about on a night like this? Because we'll have our guy Marc Stein coming up, I believe, in our next segment. He'll be joining us, so we'll be able to talk to him about something. But what do y'all want us to talk about? Do y'all have questions? Y'all have thoughts? Y'all have concerns about tonight? I see people asking about can Brandon Lewis be signed to a standard contract once his time is up?
4 days left in the season.
Yes. But his time will run out prior to that, as far as his games played are concerned.
If he plays, if he plays them all, then yeah.
If he plays them all, then
he can sign on April 10th, which means that or any two-way player could sign to a standard NBA contract, or Dallas could sign a free agent, somebody who's just on the street, and if they were not on another NBA team as of March 1st. That player would be eligible for the playoffs. If they were on an NBA team as of March 1st, they wouldn't be eligible for the playoffs, but if they're currently a free agent and Dallas signed them, they would be available for the last 2 games.
Awesome. Great.
In all likelihood, Dallas will convert one of the two-way contracts whose eligibility under the two-way contract has run out. They will convert them to a standard contract that would give that person the ability to play 2 more games. And then, potentially, in all likelihood, although we'll see, I am still not fully ruling out the scenario that the big men don't come back, that Dallas does not win enough games, and that Phoenix, one way or the other, goes on an ayahuasca retreat and comes together as a team and surpasses them in the standings.
Just go full Aaron Rodgers on this thing, huh?
That's what it would take at this point. The Phoenix Suns are down badder than Dallas. Well,
Oh, they whoop it up on the Kings right now, though. They're up 36-21 at the end of the first quarter.
Not enough.
You said that's not enough.
They'll find a way to blow it.
They might find a way to blow that game. Somebody in the chat.
They're only 2 games back, dude. I am still unconvinced that Dallas is going to be a play-in team. I know that it's so hard doing.
Phoenix's schedule is so hellacious,
I know it is. I know it is. And it's also so hard doing this show. Because like every single night. Well, no. That was a lead into my next point. So hard doing the show. Because every night we get on here and we're just prisoner of the moment because that's the only way there is. I know that like 3 shows ago, I was like, Dallas is totally going to be the play-in team. But as of tonight, I think it's possible that Phoenix still surpasses them. They've got Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
What's that netted them so far this year?
8-1 record to start the year.
And where they are now?
Yeah, well, maybe they go 8-1 again. They've done it once this year.
Let me tell you something. If they find 6 wins in the final 14, 15 games left with that schedule that they have,
I think they get 6 wins for sure.
They will have earned their way into.
You do not think they will get 36 wins?
You rattled off their schedule the other day, and
I think they get 36 wins. Marc Stein here? Oh, Tanner, what a tease!
He faked you out pretty good.
Tanner did one of these things.
He did.
He's like,
hold up the church finger.
But I think he was wagging it because he was upset that we were not talking about more interesting things.
From Jacob, we need a Suns win so bad.
This is why I was doing it.
Let's go, Tanner. So this is the
sun has won. It's daylight savings. Daylight savings is over.
This is the Suns schedule.
Is that not a Suns win? What if the Suns only play well when it's not daylight savings? So it's all about to turn around for them.
We're going to get to the super chat here in just a second, but this is the current schedule for the Phoenix Suns. So they've got Sacramento tonight. They're currently up by double digits at the beginning of the second quarter, but their next several games include at Los Angeles, at home versus Toronto, Chicago, and Cleveland and Milwaukee. Oh, they got, 5 straight home games? Toronto, Chicago, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Boston. So after they play Los Angeles on Sunday, they've got 5 straight home games, but that includes the 3 of the 4 top teams in the East.
But you got to remember also the last couple of weeks of March, especially for teams that are very clearly dominant of their conferences, you never know what you're going to run into.
Okay, so
if
for example,
you are a motivated Phoenix team that is tied Dallas, if you are even with Dallas and you're motivated going in against a game with the Cleveland, and all it takes is one minor knock for Evan Mobley, not even a knock, just a situation where they're like, well, look at where we are in the standings. We're not going to risk playing him, even though any other time throughout the entire rest of the season, Evan Mobley would play.
Yeah.
Or Donovan Mitchell would play.
Can you throw that back up real quick, Taryn, one more time? Because there's a couple of games I can see where your point is being made. Like, for example, April 9th, when Phoenix hosts Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City has sewn up the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. There's nothing for them to play for at that particular point.
I think either Boston game. Boston is a team of variance. Drew Holiday is banged up.
They're still fighting with New York.
Kristaps Porzingis still has the plague. But Boston is a vulnerable team at times. Now, I wish those games were like tomorrow, not, in the context of this argument, it would make more sense if the games were tomorrow. But, is LeBron's not going to play against the Lakers on Sunday?
Yeah,
Luka will, but LeBron isn't. Jackson Hayes is still out. Rui Hachimura is still out.
And hell, honestly, the last 2 games of the regular season, actually the last 3 for Phoenix, at home versus Oklahoma City, at home versus San Antonio. San Antonio's punted on their season. What was the final game of their season? On the road against Sacramento. Sacramento may be locked into the 9th spot anyway.
Honestly, the only game I see that's unwinnable on the schedule is the at Toronto. Like, you just can't compete with what AJ Lawson's doing.
That's right. Good point.
Like he has ascended to a level that is really hard to compete against. But I still think that Phoenix, if they have even an ounce of shame, which they have proven they don't have a pound of shame, they have proven they don't have multiple ounces of shame.
Barely an ounce.
But do they have 1 ounce? A fluid ounce of shame.
A fluid ounce. That's good.
And if they don't, send them to the G League.
Oh, relegate them? We're going to relegate them?
Devin Booker included. Kevin Durant, you can go play for Real Madrid. Nah, honestly, that's too good. You get to play for Real Betis next year.
No, Kevin Durant featured Dallas Maverick, man. Come on now.
You get to play for Porto.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You really have relegated them.
Fenerbahce. Have fun in Turkey.
It's a good basketball club, though.
It's a great basketball club. It's a better soccer. Well,
great basketball
actually,
club.
I mean, on a relative level, their basketball club's probably
I feel you, Oscar.
higher in the hierarchy.
This feels like a nightmare. It is.
Let's read the super chat.
It really is.
Perfect timing for it.
Yeah, definitely the perfect time for a super chat before we go.
The Uber Alec super chat for $2. Remember 6 weeks ago? It was title or bust. LOL.
Well, they got the bust part right. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
And again,
they get you know what title they're going for? Most catastrophic season in history.
Oh, they've got that one already. That is locked up and sewn up. They've got that one completed.
So they did both of them, really.
But
they got the title and they busted.
That's right. That's right.
Not like that.
If that's the title that you're looking for. But yeah, this game, in all honesty, it kind of just puts a bookend on what has been the last 34 days of hell for this team. You had the trade that happened on February 1st, and then a week later, amid protests at the American Airlines Center, Anthony Davis makes his debut, goes smooth off, dominates for 3 quarters, and was able to put together a performance that gave you hope that maybe this thing could continue to go down the direction based on who they have here. And then from there, it has been nothing but daily calamity for this team. And for them to lose yet another body against the Houston Rockets after the way that this began 34 days ago, really it's just kind of a sick ending to the way that this has gone over the last now month plus, with now 29 days to go left in the regular season. So just really sad, sickening irony in a lot of ways tonight with the way that they played and dominated against the Rockets a month plus ago to what happened tonight in a completely different turn of events.
Feels like Yorgos Lanthimos is directing this season. Something like that.
Yeah, it's just really bad.
That reference doesn't have to land, but
it's cool.
For whoever it does land with, it will be appreciated.
Tanner, tell the guys this show is more fun than a Mavericks game. Not joking. Shout out to you, Mr. Den. Thank you. We love you. Full heart emoji.
Yeah.
Let's take our next break here on the DLLS Mavs.
Hell yeah.
When we come back, we'll be joined by our National NBA insider, Marc Stein, as he tries to put some perspective on this game and season as well. All that and more coming up next on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. But just like how the Mavericks have been playing recently, managing money is hard. It's very hard. But guess what? You've got Monarch Money to help you manage your money. Finances can be messy, but Monarch Money can be your personal chief financial officer and help you manage your money the way that you need to. We've all got goals when it comes to managing our finances, our budget, trying to make sure that we're meeting all of our goals, paying off our debt, going on credit card debt journey payouts, all of these things. Monarch Money can help you do that and can do so very, very quickly and very easily. So if you want to get control over your finances overall, you can do it with Monarch Money. Use code DLLS at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. Half off your first year with monarchmoney.com. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DLLS today.
Rugged Road is dedicated to creating innovative and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best. Their products are designed with the highest quality materials and craftsmanship, ensuring they perform in the toughest conditions, whether you're on land or water or some other substance. Rugged Road gear is built to accompany you on every adventure. One of the most unique features of Rugged Road coolers is their ability to always float upright. You never lose a drink. That's why Luka Doncic was a big fan. Unlike other heavy-duty coolers, Rugged Road coolers are incredibly light, making them easy to transport on any trip without compromising on performance. Crafted to handle the toughest environments, they're built to last. Also, they guarantee to keep their contents cool for up to 7 days, but oftentimes much longer than that. So gear up for your next adventure with Rugged Road coolers. Reliable, durable, and built to be used, Rugged Road is your ultimate outdoor companion. Head to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and use code DLLS for 10% off.
Shout out to Rugged Road.
You know who else is reliable and durable?
Who?
I hope our guest coming up now.
He is our national NBA insider. You can always dial up the Stein line at the Stein line. He is, of course, Marc Stein. Marc, what's going on?
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Well,
I don't know if Tanner fixed your mic or not, but this sounds fantastic.
You sound great.
It shouldn't sound good because I don't have a mic solution. I've spent hours today after getting home from Milwaukee trying to figure this out to no avail. I've ordered multiple new parts, multiple new mics. Nothing is working. So look, this is a newer iPhone, so maybe the microphone within the phone is of a better standard. But look, everyone in this chat room is so frustrated and angry that I do not want to foist my problems on them. But man, I've been throwing some John McEnroe-esque racket smashing tantrums over my mic situation, believe me.
Well, I suspect that the new smartphone you have, whatever brand it is, if they were to pay us, I would say what it was. Whatever brand it is, it must be a nice one because you're still coming through all right.
You look good and you sound good. Your mic.
Well, I'll tell you this: my microphones. I own 2 microphones. I purchased another one. None of them belong in the same sentence with Rugged Road. I'll tell you that.
That's valid.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Question.
What about the Mavericks?
Wait.
Do they belong in the same?
Wait. I got to this question real quick.
Rugged Road will be the working title for the Mavs 24-25 end of season video.
Good call. Sarah in our chat has a question for you. Mark, how did it feel to watch a classic Luka performance, even though they got throttled by Giannis and the Bucks last night?
It was quite classic. It was quite classic. The Lakers were so shorthanded that, their whole front line was out. but Luka was vintage Luka. And just, I know a few people in Milwaukee. I know like how hard they had to scheme for him and prep for him. And even the Lakers in that state where it was basically just Luka and Austin Reeves, the Lakers were plenty concerned. And, Luka just unleashed a 45-11 on them. And, again, the Bucks looked really good. I don't want to make too much of it because, again, the Lakers were so shorthanded and didn't have their whole front line. But the Bucks are in a pretty good place. I still give them a puncher's chance to be a playoff problem because I think they've got some pretty good balance now. And I really like Kuzma there as the third guy. But yeah, I did have a brief post game visit for 77 with 77.
Oh,
And I think he did get a chuckle out of the idea that I missed watching him play so much that I had to come to Milwaukee to watch him.
was he happy to see you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's hard to tell with him.
I mean, he's certainly he not as joyous as he would have been had Cato walked in the locker room, but
Oh, please.
Good point.
I think it took him until the last season, not this season, but last season. I think it took him until last season to even know my name. It probably helped that there was two Tims. So
I think he's quite clear on the fact that I miss watching him play. Like that, again, I showed
would you believe
up.
that the Lakers are only down 4 to the Denver Nuggets?
Are you serious?
No, I would not be with the team they have out there tonight. I would not believe that.
Bronny James, 5 points, 7 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Austin Reeves, 22 points, 15 shot attempts. Dalton Connect is going off.
How many Connect got?
15 at halftime.
Did the Lakers beat the Denver Nuggets, the South Bay version?
I mean, they're not. They're
not. I'm just saying, if the South Bay Lakers beat the Denver Nuggets tonight, like, what are we doing here?
Super Kev, let me ask you: Did you dial in and watch the whole game last night? Like, Luka's on. You're home at night. Are you watching every second, or is it too painful to watch?
Hell yeah, I was watching that game last night. You kidding me? Like, he had 29 in the first half. Like, my favorite moment from last night was watching Markieff Morris just beside himself on the sideline. Like, look, man, this is who this dude is. Like, he's hitting one-legged three-pointers, as the shot clock's running down. Like, I'm a sports fan, so I'm highly entertained by watching that young man every single night play. And it's as painful as it is to watch him in a Lakers uniform, he is super fun to watch. So, yes, I was dialed into probably about midway through probably about 2-3 minutes left in the third quarter because it was over by then. Like, it was nothing to, but the majority of his time on the floor that he had significant minutes on, I was definitely watching for sure.
I watched the highlights this morning.
And I love going to Milwaukee. It's one of my favorite stops, and it is so convenient. Now, everything is within walking distance. Like, it's just such a great walking city. So much happening around the arena. But
they have a nice new arena. I like Fiserv.
Yeah, it's but it's still very weird. Like, it's still very, 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 very strange. And then make it back. I don't know how Dallas has become the windy city, but we've more wind advisories and flights being canceled today, and quite a circus just getting back here. And then you turn on the Mavs game and there's another injury, and it's just Sunday. Sunday is the season from Hell Bowl when Philly is here.
Oh my gosh, it really is. It is the season of hell game of the year because the Philadelphia 76ers and their infinite amount of problems. Who knows if Paul George is even going to be on that roster by the time we get to the beginning of the next season. Joel Embiid obviously done for the year. Who knows what Maverick's going to be available by the time we get to Sunday at this rate. Reportedly, and Jason Kidd confirmed post game that Dante Exum and his broken left hand is going to be done for the remainder of the season. It's just, I keep using the word unbelievable, but then every time something else happens, it's just like, hold my beer. Here's more unbelievable things that happen to the Mavericks.
Well, if we're gonna do the math, Brandon Williams can only play in 6 more games, I believe. Kessler Edwards can only play in 3 more. Kai Jones can only play in 11 more. To answer a question that I know was posed in the chat very early on, I was following from afar, and I did see the chat before I joined you guys. March 4th was the last day you could sign a two-way player. So you cannot replace two-ways with other two-ways. They can't do anything roster-wise till April 10th. Now, last week, when we thought things had gotten as bleak as they possibly could on the injury front after the Phoenix game at home, I checked with the league, and they were like, look, no. I mean, the Mavs, you're only eligible for a hardship exception if you've signed a 15th guy, you have a full roster, and then you have these calamities. The Mavericks can't legally sign that 15th guy because of where they are. And again, they were hard capped by what did it say? I can't see it.
I don't know what he did to get that to happen.
I don't know what you did, but you got the little bubbles to float up on your iPhone. It's okay.
I did?
Yeah, you did. Did you put up the peace sign? You didn't put up the peace sign. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I couldn't see it on my end.
That's fine.
Me and this new phone are not having a good relationship right now.
Yeah.
We'll find a way to turn that off. I think
I was told, oh, new phone, it's going to be so great, it's going to be so modern.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I want my old phone with a home button back.
But yeah, it's just daily calamity for this team. And I honestly, like, once we get to the exit interviews of this season, I hope we get Jason Kidd to be able to just sit down. Like, I just want to hear his thoughts on how the last, 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks of the season, just how he endured all of this, because I can only imagine him going home night after night, injury after injury, and having to wake up and try to piece together any of this on a daily basis. Like, I'm very interested to hear his thoughts when we get to the end of the year on how he handled all of this, because I can't imagine what he could be thinking at this point.
Yeah, I think there's a decent chance we'll see PJ Washington on Sunday. But I know today he was listed as questionable, I believe, but like he didn't go through the morning walkthrough. So there's really no way he was going to play today. I don't think that was as close maybe as anticipated. But on Sunday now, will we see him? If you really want to get in the weeds, Brandon Williams has played so well that, when the Mavs finally get that optionality on April 10th, they have so little playmaking on this roster. Has Brandon Williams played well enough that you convert him to a standard contract? Obviously, Kessler Edwards is also under consideration for his contract being converted to a standard deal, because he has played well here in the second half of the season under routinely dire circumstances. But, I don't know, guys.
Mark,
I'm grasping for topics.
So I said this a little bit earlier in the show that I found it interesting that PJ Washington, for at least 2 games in a row, has been listed as questionable and did not play. Dallas, typically with their players, have followed a pretty consistent return to play pattern, where the game before you're supposed to return, you're doubtful. The game you're going to return, you're questionable. And then after that, it's for him to not follow that pattern with what does not appear to be that complicated of a, I guess it's been a more of a complicated ankle injury than we're used to seeing. I was wondering if that meant that, like, maybe was showing Dallas's hand that they don't actually want to bring him back. Maybe this team is a little bit more interested in tanking, because, like, obviously AD and Lively, we know they want to come back. We know that possibly their agency doesn't want to. What Dallas thinks of this whole thing, whether they're going to push for it or not, and they really may have no say in the matter when it comes down to it, just because they don't have active bodies that they can play, because the Phoenix Suns may not pass them and get to the 10 seed, and so they may be in the play-in tournament either way. But I guess that's basically my question, and you may not have a perfect answer either. But, like, what is Dallas thinking about this whole thing? the PJ situation, or at least the injury report, which may have just been something random. Maybe he was just elevated to questionable because you got to elevate somebody. Do you have any sense of what?
Before you answer that, I want you to ponder on that because we're going to take our last break. I want you to answer that question when we come back. Can you hang on to that for me?
I will wait and hang on. Yes, I will.
Thank you. Let's take our final break here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. When we come back, more with our national NBA insider, Marc Stein, as we finish up here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. But first, we want you to become part of our DLLS Sports family with our best offer of the season, $36 to join us here at DLLS Sports and become a diehard member. If you click that QR code, if you're watching us live right now, or go to alldlls.com, click the diehard button, become a diehard member. We are so close to having 1,000 diehards here at DLLS Sports. We want you to join our family and be a part of the hottest DFW sports talk when it comes to the Rangers, Stars, Cowboys, and Mavericks as well. We've got something for everyone. If you're a DFW sports fan, you get access to our member-only Discord, 20% off events, access to our premium content on our website as well, where you can read the stylings of our guy Tim Cato, Joe Hoy, Clarence Hill, Sean Shapiro, Sam Nestler, Jeff Wilson, and everyone here at DLLS Sports. And you get the chance to have membership to one of the best DFW sports talk venues in period.
In the world.
One
of the best
in the
DFW
world.
sports talk places in the world.
In
the
world.
universe.
In the entire...
There's nowhere... They're not talking about the DFW sports better on Mars.
No.
They're not talking about it better in the Philippines.
Nope.
And Mongolia.
Nope.
No. Here in DFW.
Right here.
We, in fact.
Oh, Richard made an appearance. Shout out to Richard. He's back.
Shout out, Richard.
Shout out to Richard.
Yeah.
But join us here at DLLS Sports again. $36 a year, our best offer ever for DLLS Sports. You get your physical diehard card as well. That's right, Tanner. Your physical diehard card as well. Make sure you tag us on social media. Let us know you become part of our DLLS Sports family. Like Sarah, for example, who's part of our diehard crew as well. And you can become part of what is an amazing movement at DLLS Sports. In fact, nearly 19,000 subscribers as we speak when it comes to DLLS Sports. Again, alldlls.com. Become a diehard member today. Our best offer of the season, $36 right now. Right now, join us here at DLLS Sports. In fact, Tanner, how close are we to 19,000? You don't know yet? Yeah, how close are we to 19,000?
I can look one second.
Okay. As he does.
Well, let's bring Stein back first.
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, he's back. And
Sorry. We're at 18,951, so we're 49
we're
away.
49 subscribers away from 19,000. So make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to DLLS Sports.
But do not subscribe over the weekend. Wait till our Monday show.
Oh, no, please do so. You can do that.
Sorry.
Sunday.
You subscribe over the weekend.
Yeah,
Sunday.
Yeah, we got a game on
Wait
Sunday.
till our Sunday show.
Sunday.
No, subscribe, then do that as well. I need your son and your family to make more YouTube accounts, Mark, to subscribe to DLLS Sports to get us to 19,000. So I need you to get on that.
You don't think we get 49 subscriptions in the last segment of the show?
If we get 49 subscribers in the last 11 minutes of this show, that will be a record. That'd be a record of some sort, I'm sure. But as Tim mentioned before we went to break,
I wouldn't call that a mention. I believe it was about a 3-minute monologue. Call a spade a spade.
I mean,
Which I didn't follow that well, so you might want to reiterate.
What are the Mavs thinking?
with PJ Washington.
What are they thinking with PJ Washington? But more specifically, what are they thinking in terms of actually bringing players back that would help them win at the expense of just because they may have no choice?
So I don't know on the PJ deal. I don't know why he was listed as questionable because, like I said, what I had gleaned about the situation was it didn't sound to me like today was really on the cards for the comeback. And I think Jason Kidd said pregame that Sunday is far likelier for PJ. So I can't answer that one. On the other one, we've been discussing this since I reported it Monday, that the Mavs are going to have a tough decision to make because it's clear the behind-the-scenes whispers are that both Anthony Davis and Derek Lively are progressing toward a return, and it does appear that both are it is conceivable that both could be game ready before this season ends. But to me, with the injury misfortune, and we're putting it kindly, that Dallas has endured, like, how could the league take issue with them saying, you know what, we're going to take the safe route. We're going to be extra cautious here since we can't go a day without losing guys. I mean, remember, just in the last week plus, season-ending injuries for Dante Exum and Omax Prosper. Like, it's, again, karma, injury, luck. These are not tangible things, but I mean, in this climate,
Don't tell a Mavs fan that right now.
would you want to risk? I mean, look, next season, you already know you're starting it without Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, we don't know when exactly he'll be back, but we do know he's not going to be ready at the start of next season. So you're already starting next season in a compromised position. Do you really want to risk anything happening to Anthony Davis or Derek Lively? Mavs are probably going to make the play-in anyway just because of sheer math. I mean, they're going to have to lose every game from here. Phoenix is just, Phoenix ain't exactly mounting a huge climb up the ladder. So, like, this isn't about play AD to make sure you keep that play-in spot. I mean, they might keep it anyway. But I'm just, nobody's going to ask my opinion, but I would just be extra, 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 extra cautious at this point because there is, I mean, what good can come from him playing at this point?
And I agree, and I think pragmatically the best thing Dallas could do is try their best somehow to get the best draft pick possible. If you're advancing to a play-in game, and or if it looks all but certain that you're going to be there, and Anthony Davis has been cleared for a week plus, and as far as I understand, the players want to get back on the court. Now, there's a lot more factors than the players just want to get back on the court for the players to actually get back on the court. I do wonder if it just reaches a point where they're ready, they want to play, and they're stuck. Dallas is very clearly going to make it the play-in tournament. And I guess I guess the scenario that I'm so curious about, I'm not asking you to whether you know or not, or it's just this is the scenario that is so fascinating to me, where Dallas is we didn't want to make the play-in tournament, but the Phoenix Suns literally couldn't help us out. And now we're sitting with these two players who are itching to play. We've run out of, we've kept them out long enough. They want to get back on the court. We're going to play in the play-in tournament anyway. It's one thing to sit players at the end of a tanking season. It's another thing when you're about to play a play-in game. I can just imagine that would be, if it reaches this point, I can just imagine how tough of a conversation that would be, even if it's not helpful for the long-term desires of the franchise, to be Anthony Davis, no, you're going to sit out of a play-in game too. It's just, I can't imagine. It just feels like a very almost impossible conversation to have with somebody of that magnitude, unless you were to sit him down and have surgery.
Yeah, look, I mean, I know you want me to give you, if I had the definitive answer, I would.
No. I don't think you have the answer to this. I am just starting to think about how tough this is going to be down the line, right?
Yeah.
Or could be down the line.
And as you guys were discussing it, and obviously the injuries for this team, one thing that just comes to my mind is that, and correct me if I'm wrong on the date, March 4th is when Kyrie Irving suffered the torn ACL against the Sacramento Kings. I believe that was March 4th. In fact, I can just look at it right now.
It was March.
Yes,
March 3rd.
You're right.
March 3rd.
You're right.
March 3rd. March 3rd. He suffered the torn ACL.
It is our emergency pod on March 4th.
That's right.
That's why we're thinking 4th.
It is now March 15th. So it's been 12 days since he torn the ACL. To your knowledge, obviously the team has not announced anything in terms of him having surgery as of yet. To your knowledge, he has not had surgery on the torn ACL that he has suffered yet, has he?
I flat out don't know.
Okay.
I genuinely don't know.
Okay.
I mean, if you would like to think that would be announced, but I also remember in the summer when, the hand injury happened, that just kind of came out of the blue.
Yes.
Like, can't, so I don't have an answer for you on that one. I will try to get one, but I don't have one.
And the only reason why I bring that up is because, we talked about how, next year this team's going to start a significant portion of the season without Kyrie Irving. The longer he goes before having surgery, the longer it's going to be before he comes back, theoretically. So it's just the time spent with guys being injured and getting surgeries, all those, like, it becomes that much more, interesting to wonder about when these guys will be eventually available. Because
from my understanding of ACL tears, usually sports franchises announce them when surgery happens, usually. And 2 weeks is a longer time frame, but anything is possible because, and a lot of people will know this, but you have to wait till the swelling completely goes down. There's a level of rehab that you sometimes do even pre-surgery to get the point that the knee is ready to go undergo surgery. Because once you undergo surgery, you're going to be immobilized for a long time.
Yeah.
And yes, there is some level of time sensitivity to it, but when you're talking about a 9-month recovery,
right.
Well, really a 12-month, but a minimum 9-month. If you wait, a few days, it very well may be scheduled. It would probably, usually surgeries like this do happen on weekdays. Like, doctors still kind of work weekday hours. You're not going to have it. So it wouldn't surprise me if that email comes Monday.
Yeah, or
Tuesday.
I was just curious, like you said.
It's a good question. It's a very good question. Yeah. I've also been wondering that. I
gotta say though, I'm not super concerned on that front because I just feel like, again, Kyrie, he wants to be playing, and I just don't think he's going to attack his rehab as fiercely as he possibly can. So, like, on that kind of stuff, I just tend to think he's going to make it back as fast as feasibly possible. Like, he'd rather be playing, obviously.
Sure. For sure. It's just, again, just thinking about kind of the time frame on what this is actually looking like for this team as they try to navigate some of this. Before we let you go here, obviously Sunday is right around the corner when the Mavericks take on the Philadelphia 76ers, two teams whose seasons have gone completely in the opposite directions of the expectations that both of these teams had coming into the year. It's just kind of amazing that these two teams will meet each other in the states that they are in, given where we thought these two teams could be at this point of the year coming into the season.
Yeah, look, it wasn't a noon tip-off. It was a noon tip-off for a reason. It was supposed to be on ABC. This was, and we're basically a year removed from the Kyrie lefty floater / hook that beat Denver at the buzzer. That's basically when it happened. This same time a year ago on a Sunday afternoon. And a year later, we could see the most delicious buzzer beater of all time. It ain't gonna lift the gloom that hangs over both of these teams.
Yeah, because Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia 76ers have been going through it all season long. There have been a handful of teams that have just had the kind of injury and bad play on the floor, befall them, and the 76ers are one of those teams, especially in the Eastern Conference. It's just not gone well for them. Mark,
we somehow, like I always say, we need that functionality that allows us to patch in the PHLY crew at the same time we're doing a show, like
Agreed.
Star Trek, screen to screen communication. So, like, their show and our show could just tell stories about, you think you got it bad. Wait till you hear this.
My gosh. Mark, we appreciate your time. We'll talk to you on Sunday, sir.
All right, guys. Talk soon. See you soon.
Bye, Mark.
That is our National NBA insider, Marc Stein. Good to join us here on the DLLS Mavs podcast. That'll do it for us here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. Mavericks get throttled on the road by the Rockets, 133-96, losing by 37 to drop 2 games below 500. We will be back on Sunday with our DLLS Mavs pregame show, kicking off at 11:15 a.m. Again, special start time at 11:15 a.m. on Sunday morning. Our guy Bobby Curler will be back in studio with us for the pregame and postgame show as well, with tip-off at high noon on Sunday afternoon. Appreciate our guy Tanner making us look good and sound good as always. Thank you, sir. That is our Mavericks beat writer, Tim Cato. I'm your host, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. We'll talk to you on Sunday morning at 11:15 a.m. right here on the DLLS Mavs pregame show. Y'all be good. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.